Good morning, students. I'm Orindam Bag. Today we are going to discuss about the topic ballad. So here it is. It is in your syllabus. Let me show you where it is. This one. So this is our topic today. Okay. So without wasting any more time, let us find what we have here. So I'll be using two books today. The first one is Dictionary of Literary Terms by M.H. Abrams, and the second one which I used in my last class, that means yesterday's class. So let us find what ballad is. So we have some description, and this particular whatever you can see in front of me is ballad. So this is ballad, So it is from the book M.H. Abrams. A short definition of the popular ballad, known also as the folk ballad or traditional ballad, it is in the parenthesis you can see, is that it is a song. So whenever you hear this term ballad, you can be sure that it's a type of song. And there are some characteristics of this song. What are those? It is transmitted orally and which tells a story. So we have three prominent characteristics of ballad. First of all, it is a song, and then it is transmitted orally, and the most important part is it tells a story. So we can consider ballad as the narrative species of folk songs which originate and are communicated orally among illiterate or only partly literate people. Look, right now we have so many modes of entertainment. We can entertain ourselves with a fast internet connection and a simple smartphone, and you can spend a lot of time with that. But back in those days, the provision of entertainment was very minimum. The upper class, the rich people, they have numerous ways to entertain themselves. But the lower class people, as it is been described over here, that among illiterate or partly literate people, you can see in this case, what was their provision? How would they entertain themselves? So just because they are poor or illiterate, they don't have any right to entertain themselves? No, it is not like that. They have their own format of entertainment. And for them, there were people who used to communicate orally. Among these people, they tell story, sing about it. The probability the initial version of a ballad was composed by a single author, but in most cases he or she is unknown. And since each singer who learns and repeats on oral ballad is apt to introduce changes in both the text and the tune, it exists in many variants forms. Now since it's a oral tradition, you can't keep record, or you cannot keep the things in original format. It is quite difficult. So what happened? There was some sort of change. And what was those change? There was changes in both the text and the tune of the song. Because it was orally done, na? There was no books. There was no printed copy. That's why. So the typical popular ballad is dramatic, condensed, and impersonal. So a ballad should be what? Dramatic, condensed, and impersonal. Narrator begins with a climatic episode, tells the story tersely by means of action and dialogue, sometimes means of the dialogue alone, and tells it without self reference or the expression of personal attitude or feelings. So these are the very quality of a ballad. Now we are moving to that section which is known as ballad stanza. This one is a quatrain in alternate 4 and 3 stress line. Quatrain means whenever you hear this particular thing, you can be sure that it means 4. It's a quatrain in alternate 4 and 3 stress lines. Now, at this stage, you might find difficult to understand what actually it means. It is about the prosody, which you are not familiar with. Just remember these things. There are some complex ideas. I need to explain it in later classes. So for now, you can remember this thing. 4 and 3 stress lines. Usually the second and fourth lines rhyme. That means line number 1 and 3, line number 2 and 4. This is the form of Patrick's pens. The first stanza of this ballad also exemplifies the conventionally abrupt opening and the manner of proceeding by third person narration. So what happens? Abrupt opening and proceeding by third person narration. Cartly sketched, setting, action, sharp transition, and spare dialogue. So these are the some common things in ballad, and there are many other ballads also, which employs some sort of formula, where singer remember the course of the song. It has some sort of stock descriptive phrases like blood red and wine, milk white steed, a refrain in each stanza, incremental repetition. This can be observed. So there are other informations also, but for now it is enough. Now we are going to use another book, and the name of that book is Dictionary of Literary Terms by Queen's. I told you are quite familiar with this book, isn't it? Edward Queen. So let us see what ballad is. According to this book, this one is very easy. This book is very easy. Try to follow this one. M.H. Abrams is very much standard, and obviously there are details, but this one is quite a bit easy. So ballad is originally a song associated with dance. See here, in M.H. Abrams it was only song. Now here associated with dance. Now the ballad developed into a form of folk. It developed into a form of folk verse narrative. The majority of folk ballads deal with themes of romantic passion, obviously. Romantic passion will be there, love affairs will be there, and unhappily, might be some sort of political and military subjects. These are the subject matters of ballad. Now the story usually in dialogue form, might be in direct and unsparing language, arranged in quatrain. Remember that one I mentioned about ballad stanza, with the second and fourth lines rhyming. Now here is an example we are having. An example is the final stanza to the Scots ballad Bonnie Barbara Allen. O mother, mother, make my bed. O make it soft and narrow. Since my love died for me today, I will die for him tomorrow. See here, this line number 2 and line number 4. They are actually matched regarding this tomorrow and narrow. Even there is a similarity between bed. Sorry, there is no similarity. My mistake, my bad. Please ignore that one. So we have some similarity over here and here regarding the rhyme. Oh, I'm writing it with my hands, that's why. Anyway, so ballads were popular throughout medieval Europe. Yes, so when it was popular in the medieval age in Europe. In the 18th century, the publication of Bishop Thomas Percy Reliques of Ancient English Poetry, 1765, created a vogue of fashion both England and Germany for folk verses. The ballad form was imitated later by the Romantic poets, signaled by the publication of William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge's lyrical ballads in 1798. This is these two names, William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge. They are the foremost figure of English literature, and yes, they are very prominent names. And this particular work, Lyrical Ballads, which was published in the year 1798, it's a very important work towards the history of poetry. So that will be all for ballad. I hope you understand all the things, and it will be uploaded soon, followed by a Google form. Before that, we will have a Google meeting. Thank you all for watching this. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.